Welcome to the Reality Tour Workshop video, a video outline of the Reality Tour sequence of events to give you an overview of the entire program. The workshop video is a training tool for Reality Tour directors and volunteers. It is a companion to the detailed Reality Tour program manual. Every segment is detailed and explained along with the roles for volunteers. Provide your registration form by emailing it to realitytour@candleinc.org. It will be posted on our website. Your form can be available as a download for people to print and mail to you, or use Eventbrite or another online tool for online registration. Be sure to keep your registration form updated as often as necessary for our website. Include as many scheduled dates as possible on the form. The printed form asks for the first and second preferred date to attend. Your confirmation email or postcard to attendees will verify the date selected. Using this method allows you to adjust should your tour be overbooked. The registration form is provided in the printed program materials download. The Reality Tour director and advisors should arrive at least an hour before to set up the program. Pre-registration and following the guidelines in the Reality Tour program manual make registration and check-in run smoothly. Participants are checked in and receive their assigned drug profile, name tag, and comparison and exit surveys, along with a pen. Registration volunteers' time commitment to the tour is 1.5 hours. Digital photos of youth are taken immediately after check-in. Choose a space with a plain background. Instruct the youth not to smile and to remove their glasses, hat, etc. The youth should hold their name tag under their chin for easy identification of the photo later. No one is forced to have their photo taken. If anyone refuses, just pleasantly move on to the next person. These photos will be morphed and given back as a remembrance of Reality Tour. All photos are deleted after the program and are not shared for any reason. The drug profiles provided in adult and youth versions are assigned to each participant. The exercise is to make Reality Tour more personal and to dispel the belief that it can't happen to me. The Reality Tour program manual details the role of the group leaders who will guide this segment. See the program manual for the drug profile questions for group leaders. Group leaders should become familiar with the style of the drug profiles. The goal was to focus and engage the participants from the moment they arrive. Group leaders can revert to the drug profile questions also if there is a lag between dramatic scenes or if you have an interruption to the program for technical reasons. The peer pressure scene actors are aged 10 to 18. While this is a wide age gap, the purpose is to give all of the youth in the audience someone to identify with in this scene. Choose a tightly scripted approach or a more casual delivery. Both options are included in the program manual. The peer pressure outcome must always be that the choice is not to experiment with drugs or alcohol. This is our first encounter with choices made in the program. This scene is optional, but it is highly recommended to include peer pressure scenes. Ask a Boy Scout or Girl Scout troop or other youth organization to take on the scene. The tour director begins remarks right after the peer pressure scene. There is a separate training video for tour directors. The tour director role should be familiar to at least 2 volunteers. The delivery can be shared or alternated between directors. The director is the MC for the program as well as the instructor. A person with public speaking skills is key to this role. The complete director presentation and training is a separate link in the program model. A prevention video of your choosing, 20 to 25 minutes, is shown at this point. If you have a large group and are dividing your audience in half, the first half leaves for the arrest and prison experience, emergency room, and funeral home scenes, while the second half of the group watches the video. Then they switch places. For small groups, show the video after the dramatic scenes. Choose a video that is pertinent to your community. Emerging drug trends are a suggested topic. See the program manual for suggestions. The arrest may happen in the presentation area, or it is encountered on the way to your staged jail scene or holding cell. Actors may be undercover officers making the arrest, or you may have a uniformed officer do the arrest. You may not access a real prison or jail, however, and you may not have any prisoner ever address your group for any reason. Jail cells can be made from dowel rods. Municipal centers and courthouses often have holding cells to access. In this segment, our fictional teen on drugs begins to tell his or her story that demonstrates once they had a choice to make. Once they were just like you. The takeaway is that choices can have powerful consequences. There are a number of narrative versions to choose from. If your diverse population is not represented by any of the selections, Candle will work with you to produce an appropriate version. You will note that the narrative for the arrest is long, almost 5 minutes. We want the participants to feel somewhat confined at this stage. Be sure to provide the best audio experience possible. The narrative should envelop the audience. Use high-quality speakers and appropriate volume. Position the audience around the scene so that everyone has a view. A local fire department or ambulance provider or EMTs can help stage the scene and may provide the actors as well. Butler Ambulance has been helping the original reality tour stage this scene for over a decade. You can, however, use actors for the entire scene. Ask your ambulance provider for some EMT uniforms and the props. The goal of the scene is to briefly show a life in peril. The real emotion comes from the parents who charge into the ER. The scene is screened off until after the narrative is heard, and then group leaders remove the screens at the end of the narrative to reveal the action of trying to revive the victim. While it is great to have the youth getting arrested also be on the stretcher, it is fine to use another youth actor in this scene. This scene is revealed before the narrative plays. The emotional peak is when the parents view the coffin for the first time and pause as they look over the collage of pictures of their child. The funeral director invites the attendees to write in the memory book and to imagine it was someone they knew. The narrative creates an emotional response that prepares people to interact with the parents by going through the receiving line to express their condolences. The coffin never has anything in it except for the mirror that's on the pillow, and there's a phrase taped across the mirror that says, "Don't let this happen to you." A funeral home may agree to loan a casket or deliver one each time you have a tour. See the program manual for the alternative to use a funeral pall and a prop for the casket if a real one is not available. For the collage, clip family pictures from magazines to have a diverse population represented in each photo. A used stuffed animal can be carried by mom and placed in the casket for added effect. If you are using 2 groups, the first group will have finished their visit to the dramatic scenes and be returning to view the video. The second group leaves for the dramatic scenes now. If you are serving one group, now is the time to show the video. Youth are encouraged to trace their handprints on our banner and sign and date it as their drug-free promise. This occurs after the dramatic scenes. When your banner is full of those wonderful handprints, find a prominent place to display it in the community and order another one. One banner is supplied with the reality tour program model. This is the coping skills segment. The reality tour director comments are guided by the slides. The full director training is provided in a separate link in the program model. The morphed pictures have been processed from digital photographs taken of youth at registration. The photos are placed on a table for youth to collect as they leave the program to serve as a reminder of the reality tour experience. The photos showing a changed image serve as a reminder that using drugs can change you and even change your appearance and how you take care of yourself. This is a job that teens enjoy. Set up a laptop and printer in an adjoining area. See the program manual on where to acquire the inexpensive software, as Candle cannot provide software due to licensing restrictions. Photomorphing is an optional segment of Reality Tour. This part of the program should be approximately 15 to 20 minutes. The Reality Tour director interviews the officer. See the series of questions provided in the program manual as a guide. The participants are invited to ask questions. Our program uses this segment to include the activities of concern in your locale and establish the consequences that relate to loss of freedom due to drug or alcohol abuse. This is an interview only, and the officer should not add any other programs like another video or a PowerPoint. Some officers may have access to a demo to show what drugs look like. If you want to include this kind of visual demo, invite interested participants to stop by a table that you have set up for the officer after the program. Avoid adding length to Reality Tour and adhere firmly to the interview format. Remember that the sight of drugs in your demo can be a trigger for your speakers in recovery, so please be considerate. This is one of the most powerful parts of the program. Note the interview format that guides the outcomes. The audience will have questions, and the volunteers may pose questions that need to be brought out. This video segment can be used for audience viewing in the event that your scheduled recovery spokesperson does not show up. You can also interview a parent of a youth in recovery or a parent of a youth in active addiction. The exit surveys are the payoff for the volunteers and the key to presenting an improved program each time. Highlights from the survey should be shared with the volunteers in a group email to show how their time made a difference. There are surveys for adults and youth, and they are collected at the end of the program. Participants place their name badge holders, drug profiles, pens, and exit surveys in bins as they exit the room. Note that the parent and child checklists are to be taken home. They are not collected. The exit bags have free publications as well as materials from local resources. Free government publications are a wonderful parting gift for attendees, but they are getting harder to find. Your local state drug and alcohol department can be a resource for materials. Add a registration form so family and friends can register for your upcoming Reality Tour. The Reality Tour event report relays the attendance and a one-sentence summary of each presentation of the program. This is part of your licensing agreement and should be emailed to realitytour@candleinc.org within 10 days of your presentation. You may also nominate your particular Reality Tour date for a Best Practice Award. You will find the form to use in the printed program materials download. Reality Tour logo items make your tour look professional. Consider polos and vests for volunteers. In Pennsylvania, there is a yearly grant application that has been reimbursing for the cost of up to 200 of our I Promise t-shirts for schools. This is perfect for Red Ribbon Week. Pennsylvania Reality Tours can apply for about $1,500 to $2,000 in program materials each year. The grant is 90% complete for you. Just email realitytour@candleinc.org. Please note that our trademark is protected and all materials must be purchased through Candle Inc. This income helps update Reality Tour and maintain our level of service, as well as aid in research and development. You as a volunteer are key to the success of Reality Tour. Your chosen task is extremely important. Volunteers need to understand their particular role thoroughly, and it will soon be evident how that role fits with the full program that is about 2 to 2.5 hours long. Eventually, volunteers learn to multitask and cover a variety of roles. It is suggested that a group email be sent to all volunteers 2 weeks prior to your reality tour date. Volunteers should reply promptly, noting the role they plan to fill on that date. It is suggested to have backups trained and alternate key roles. Community partners are also key, especially school districts. Schools should be asked to promote reality tour to parents on a continual basis. Ask if you can have a booth at open house and suggest that a reality tour volunteer briefly address parents. Have your date set in advance and suggest that the school assign one or more homerooms to specific dates. That system greatly improves and sustains your attendance. Having a VIP reality tour to kick off the program is a great way to gain the support of school administrators and community leaders. Be certain to access all the video training links in the program model download. The Director Training Parts 1 and 2, Dramatic Scenes, Law Enforcement Interview, Youth and Recovery Interview, and Photomorphing Training, plus the Sustainability Training. As a bonus, the Reality Tour program model also includes a prevention curriculum titled Smart Zone for grades 5 to 9. This is a good tool for Red Ribbon Week, and it automatically unfolds into an assembly. It can be used for prevention awareness at any time of the year. The download in the program model even includes a PowerPoint overview. Reality Tour is meant to be an ongoing program that permeates the community and is always coming up on the calendar of events. This fills the gap in prevention and makes family prevention education easily accessible to the general public before there is a problem. Do consider presenting the program at least every quarter. The original Reality Tour in Butler, Pennsylvania, with a population of 185,000 in the county, is presented monthly during the school year in several locations. One thing to remember is that while Reality Tour does include drama, it is not a show. Do not present it as such in your promotion. It is rather a prevention experience. It is also not scare tactics, and our research by the University of Pittsburgh School of Pharmacy proves that the consequences in our program are balanced by coping skills and first-person accounts. Reality Tour does not exaggerate or make false claims, but rather personifies what is happening to families on a daily basis. Unlike other programs, Reality Tour flexes to allow new information that pertains to your community to be included in the director comments and Q&A segments. The PowerPoint and statistics are updated every 2 years. When the program is updated, new information will be sent and your program will be required to implement within a declared time period. For groups wanting to access your Reality Tour, please see the program manual for suggestions to manage. Candle has developed Reality Tour to address this underserved population, parents and children from the general public. Most often, it is motivated families that attend the program. These families are at risk in our current environment. There are few, if any, prevention vehicles designed for families, and Reality Tour fills that gap. If your organization has a reason to include youth without parents or guardians, contact Candle Inc. to address the circumstances, and we will guide you through this effort. There should be a team of 2 or more volunteers devoted to sustaining Reality Tour. It is suggested that the team view the sustainability video training quarterly to see what tools can be implemented to assure that your efforts last for many years. Reality Tours have been sustained for over a decade using these measures. Candle Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit that has ownership of the Reality Tour copyright and trademark. Candle has provided a program model that every community can afford and sustain. Our contract with your organization has compliance requirements that prevent a spin-off of our program or unauthorized adaptations or replications. Besides being a legal contract, it is a moral contract to abide by. The measures of protection for our research-based program are not selfish, but rather ensure that Reality Tour will remain a science-based, proven program. Maintaining the integrity of our program means that tens of thousands of families will have the benefit of this experience. While the components seem just to be common sense, no other organization has dedicated the hours and years necessary to combine common sense with prevention science in this manner. Please respect the work that has been generously shared to impact lives. Any modifications must first be approved by Candle Incorporated. Candle licenses all reality tour sites. Therefore, any new sites must first be in contact with Candle. It is not permissible to replicate our program on your own.